Alright, we had a snow day at school today, so I took my son down to the game store and we played a game we called Castle Siege, which is Warhammer Fantasy Battle with just a few rules tweaked. Some of the important ones are that we weren't limiting ourselves to 6 turns. So we have 2,250 points in Bretonnians that you see lined up here, facing his 1,750 points worth of dwarves in this castle. And on or about turn 4 or 5, he had the addition of the Anvil of Doom, so I don't know what that puts his points up to, but that's what it is. And so my son came up with the rules for it, but basically I have a siege weapon as well as a trebuchet, siege weapon being like a battering ram, and I can batter down the door or the fence on the right flank or basically that tower on the left flank where the thunderers are on. And that's really my only way inside the building. So there's a look behind it. He's got some thunderers on the right tower, the low tower. He's got a couple bolt throwers up there, a cannon on the left. At the bottom right, he's got a small unit of warriors, big block warriors with a Thane, iron breakers with the BSB, some longbeards on the left. There's some hammerers, and to the left and off the screen are some more warriors. So he's sitting back there with some real stout units, and my concern is that whenever I beat down a door or something, I can't really flood it. I can only go through one unit at a time, and I think that he's stacked pretty well for that. But we thought we'd give it a go. Now another special rule that he came up with is that blue thing out there is a lake that has healing powers for Bretonnians. So at the beginning of my turn, if I have a unit in there, if I have a character in there with any wounds, he'll get healed to full strength. And whenever anybody in my team dies, we roll again, and on a 4-up, he's just wounded, and if his unit ever gets back there, they can get those models back. So I wasn't sure if that was going to make a difference anywhere, but that is something going on. So I'm moving up on my turn. I took my general out of that Knight of the Realm unit in the very middle. That looks like a big unit. It's 9 Knights of the Realm, a Damsel, a BSB, and my general was there. He's now with the Questing Knights heading towards that pond because he failed a lookout sir roll and took a wound. And I figured that there's plenty of time to catch up because it's going to take a while to beat down his doors. On the front lower left, that's a unit of 3 Pegasus Knights and then 2 different nobles on Royal Pegasi behind them. So it's not one big unit, it's a unit in front and 2 characters behind them. At the very top, small unit of Knights Errant, then a big unit of Knights of the Realm. Then what I was calling Knights of the Realm, I lied, that's a big unit of Knights Errant. The Questing Knights, Grail Relic, and you can see the other things that are there. So as I'm approaching, he just keeps shooting at me. This unit took a couple wounds that I rolled a 4-up on, so they'll be heading to that lake to get healed pretty soon. Killed a Pegasus Knight. So on my turn 2 or 3, I finally get my my Pegasus Knights, the 2 remaining ones, and both my characters all charged up Bolt Thrower. The characters will get an overrun into the next Bolt Thrower, and so looking to take care of those things before they do any more harm up there. So my Pegasi are up in the wall. My guys are getting healed, otherwise you see me moving up. Yeah, right at the beginning of the game, turn 2 or 3, my trebuchet blows itself up. So now the only way I have of tearing down any kind of walls is through that little siege weapon that we have up front. Killed the Bolt Thrower over into the next one with the 2 characters. The rest of the Pegasus Knights do an overrun and land behind his troops. His thunders start to shoot at my Grail Relic, picking them off a little bit. So not a lot to say about a lot of these. This game went probably 10 turns, and there's a lot of just little maneuvers from him behind the walls. If you look at the castle walls, you can't really tell, but I have a few men-at-arms standing there. That's my battering ram. It's at the door. It just has to be there. It gets there this turn. Next turn, it'll work at it, and the turn after that, that door will open. So I've got my Grail Relic set up to enter and see what harm I can do. My thought is if they can hold the front, and I can then move the battering ram to the right side, open up down there, I'm probably going to send a couple units of knights around the right flank and just try to keep them tied up at the door. So there's maybe a closer look at it. So these guys making short work of the second Bolt Thrower. One's facing the cannon, the other one's turned to face just wherever. He's still taking pot shots at my Grail Relic. So now my one character is in with his cannon. Now his shooting's I'm not worried about. His bolt throwers are gone, his cannon's in combat, his thunders got rear charged by my 2 Pegasi, and even though it looks like my character is up on the parapet in the upper left, he's actually in combat with those thunders. There's just no place to put him there. And Pegasus Knights are nice ones to bring to a to a castle. So this is fighting it, otherwise still moving up. Kill all the thunderers. When they broke, we figured they ran down the wall. It looks like a bunch of buildings, but we figured it was a wall. But my guys still chased them down. This guy killed 3 of those, or 2 of the crew, but there's still 1 remaining on the cannon. Not worried about it. He's going to die pretty soon. And so my son's, he's kind of maneuvering his guys back there, but not really a whole lot to do. So then, whatever turn we're on, turn 5 or 6 or whatever, we finally get the front doors open. I think I'm looking in pretty good shape. All the shooting up top is gone. The battering ram is now going around to the side. He's going to be able to open that up in a turn or 2. And I like what my Grail Relic can do up front. He can go in there, and I don't care if I really lose it. If he can just keep a unit or 2 tied up and allow my knights to swing in on the left of this picture, I'll be just happy with how that turns out. So landing my Pegasi back behind his lines, lining everything up, and that's how it looks outside the castle. Skirmishing bowmen are now pretty much worthless. They're not doing anything. There we go. There's the heroic picture. Grail Relic standing in the doorway, and then this is the turn that basically the special rule was, and we kind of came up with it on the spot, but it sounded cool. There needed to be some benefit for the dwarfs. I mean, this is kind of a castle guarding some stronghold of theirs, and we're now officially on their turf. And so if you look just to the right of the door in that little, probably what's supposed to be a jail in this old play school castle we're using, that's the Anvil of Doom. So now that we've touched inside their castle, the Anvil of Doom pops up. And yeah, that's going to make things real interesting for the Bretts.